Hey everyone, it's Jeremy Peoples here. I just had some thoughts on the possible future for Community now that's been canceled. Well, my initial reaction to this was doom and gloom like everyone else. I actually think that there's some reasons to be glad here. You've got a show with a passionate fan base, and probably the most passionate for a TV show right now. More passionate than even the Office fans were as far as really loving the core concept. And it's something where it's sad that the show's canceled now. And that means that there's, in theory, no hope. But there's always hope. And sometimes that hope comes from Little Kitty Cat. Sometimes that hope comes from Kickstarter, which is what I see being the best possible avenue for the show's future if, let's say they try to sell it to other networks and they aren't buying, which is kind of likely. I really can't think of many over-the-air broadcast networks that would really work for. It's not a fit for ION. Well, nothing is because it costs money to make. CBS is just a weird fit for it. NBC clearly doesn't want it anymore. So you've got Fox, and Fox is kind of a natural fit in a way. But they don't even, I don't believe Fox even syndicates the show on their stations. They might. I actually don't really check syndication much. But I do know that Comedy Central syndicates it. And I see them being the most viable home for it, with some caveats. Of course, being on cable means the budget's going to be a lot lower, so you're going to have to go without at least as many giant set-piece episodes. So maybe, one a season, they'd be finales or openers. And that's probably actually the best way to go about it. That way you don't kind of become numb to the concept. And the Kickstarter thing would really not be realistic for a show. You can't really do a whole season of a high-budget show. I guess it's probably about average on it. I don't think NBC would have renewed it if it was a high-budget show for the 5th season. But you still really can't do a full season on Kickstarter, so then the movie idea comes to mind. And the goal was 6 seasons in a movie. That's fine. I'll take 5 seasons in a movie. I'll go with 5 seasons. The last was pretty good. I actually still need to watch the finale on that. It's on demand. I want to watch it soon, but keeping getting distracted and working on other stuff. So I'll get around to that maybe later today. So I haven't seen the finale or how it ends, but I haven't heard any big furor over anything on it. So I assume it was just a finale, and it didn't really make much of an impact, which is kind of sad. I would hope that the show gets a better send-off. The show kind of started off not the greatest. I mean, when I first saw clips for it, I actually thought it was just a sketch on the Soup, because it looked kind of bland and boring, and it just wasn't very amusing. And then of course it morphed into its own thing. With I still think season 2 is probably the best part, the best season overall. And then you've got season 3 was pretty good. Season 4 I actually liked quite a bit. For not having Dan Harmon, the creators did do a great job. And season 5 was, I'd put it on par with 4. It was better in the sense it kind of felt more like Community, but it wasn't really as memorable or eventful in some ways. I did like the character of Hickey, though. He was a good addition. Anyway, on to this Kickstarter thing. It did work for Veronica Mars. And that got nearly 3 times what it was asking for on Kickstarter. They wanted $2 million and they got, I think it was 5.7. So you're looking at nearly $6 million for a Veronica Mars movie. Community could easily hit that level, I think, and I would love to see a movie for it. I think it does have a broader scope to it than most TV shows, and it would actually play off pretty well for a movie, even if it was just something you wouldn't really give a big theatrical release to. Maybe you do. Maybe you give it attempt a little run there in theaters. Realistically, that's probably not a big deal. Maybe it'll be like a WWE film where it's just in theaters for a couple weeks to say it was in theaters, and then it's on DVD and Blu-ray pretty quickly. I could actually see, mentioning WWE there, I can see them maybe doing something like that if it was made and needed a partner to ship out and get it released. But then again, they're probably, as a company, never going to have heard of Community until about 15 years from now. So maybe they'll do the Community reunion special. Now, for the non-show and non-televised future for the series, one thing I would like to see them do is just make a little game for it. And that's mainly based on some of the concepts. Like you could definitely do a first-person paintball game, you know, or make an RPG like they did for that was season 3 or season 2. It would have to be, I think it was season 3, where they did the little faux 16-bit RPG thing, and that would be a lot of fun. And I would love to see something come about with that, where fans just take some initiative and actually do something like that, just for a fun little project, you know. And you could, in doing it, you know, you could maybe put them on Steam and then give Steam codes away with a DVD buy or a Kickstarter buy or something. But yeah, there's just some of my thoughts on it, and I hope that we haven't seen the end of Community, but if we have, I think it's been 5 great seasons. Well, you know, except for the series finale, or what it is now, because I haven't seen it, but I did love every other episode. So, hopefully, that's it for Community. Take care.